year's 2000. We just entered a millennium. And boy, was the 2000s gonna rock on, with a lot of great entertainment media. And pop culture was just skyrocketing. This was the height of pop culture. This year delivered so many great things, including the video game industry, the movie industry, TV shows, what have you. Including all that, anime. Inuyasha started this year, even Ghost Stories. Everybody's favorite anime, right? At least with the anime industry, hit it big with Inuyasha. However, there is one show that started several months before Inuyasha or even Ghost Stories. Even before any of the other animes started in the 2000s. Heck, this was something else. It is a psychological horror anime, Boogiepop Phantom. While I've heard about it, never saw it until I decided to sit down and watch it for spooky season. And it pretty much started right at the beginning of 2000. Though, is it worth your time? Hello everyone, welcome to a new Pop Culture Talk episode. Today, gonna be talking about Boogiepop Phantom. Is it an anime worth your time, or not, or a little bit of both? Well, that's why you're here. Let's get to it, shall we?
There's no one else like me.
Come on, tell me. Where do I have to go? I want to see myself as a kid.
I'm not telling.
In a city in Japan, odd things are happening, with either individuals or something more sinister behind the scenes. A lot of death has been occurring after an odd event that occurred a month ago with an odd light, and 5 years after a serial killer went on a rampage. In the present, we follow different characters seeing through their eyes of some of the odd situations they get themselves into with the supernatural and things happening around them. There is the so-called Boogiepop, an urban legend who people are saying is responsible for making students disappear. However, there is way more at play here. Now, the main focus really is Boogiepop, but with each character comes their stories and struggle. Though other characters like Toka, Nagi, and Manticore Phantom, other side characters have their spots to shine, but leave you wondering, well, was there any point to seeing their issues? Well, yes. However, this psychological anime ain't gonna hold your hand. Now, I'm going to say, while watching it, it's out there with most of its episodes. Of course, one interesting aspect in this show is the art style. I do like it, and the mystery behind everything. Though, I did watch this entire show dubbed on the company's YouTube channel, who licensed this series, so the quality wasn't great. Music-wise, it's good, with some being catchy, while the opening and endings are drastically different when it comes to the mood of this dark story. While watching it, I was intrigued due to its atmosphere and mystery, along with other odd killings and stuff happening, along with this Boogiepop or Boogiepop Phantom popping up during bad situations. There are other, well, I would say more at play when it comes to this Boogiepop or Boogiepops. However, certain stories for characters in this show, like this creep, his ending was kind of like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about?
So yeah, you could say that while the quality atmosphere looks nice for like a horror vibe for an early 2000s anime, late 90s, early 2000s, the plot is kind of all over the place, because while we focus more on characters seeing things from their perspective, there's also Boogiepop that pops up, but then there's another character tied into some of that, so it's kind of odd, to be honest. In all honesty, I wish there was more focus on Boogiepop, who this person is, why they're doing what they're doing. On the other hand, while I don't mind seeing perspectives of characters going through this horrific thing going on in this city, some stories are kind of odd. Especially one specific episode, which is like, okay. While others got some explanation, others were left up to your interpretation. Like I said, this anime does not hold your hand. Boogiepop Phantom is kind of out there. But I found out that this iteration is actually a sequel to the light novel, also live action film, which this anime is a follow-up of those two. So it's pretty much an anime version and it's doing its own thing. It was never adapted from a manga. It's a sequel with the title Boogiepop, but the studio went and did their own thing with their own story. So technically it ain't even part of any book. Art style, noir look, mystery, it's all here. It's just this show isn't going to click with others. And sometimes you might be like,
I'm so damn confused.
so yeah, you have to read the book or watch the live action version just to get a good idea of what's going on with this sequel anime of those medias. And if you're not too familiar with the source material, then it's going to throw you for a loop. That's how I felt, because I didn't know much about Boogiepop. I went in blind, of course, and while there were some things that were interesting about it, it's also kind of weird at the same time. It might make you question what the heck's going on. And like I said, certain things do get explained, but sometimes when they do explain certain things, it kind of makes you question, okay, well, what? Now, some people might be able to piece it together probably better than Evangelion or End of Evangelion's conclusion, because that was a total, well, I'll save that for another day. Either way, you're going to be baffled by some of the stuff. While I do like the mystery aspect, I feel that I would have liked to seen, I don't know, maybe more focus of Nagi and maybe this other character that ties in with Boogiepop, and how there's this other stuff going. Well, I mean, there is stuff going on with some creatures and stuff in the city that's doing stuff. I would like to know, besides them going after specific people with abilities, why certain people are getting targeted, and then, well, there's only like 13 episodes of this show, so it doesn't really have time to flesh out everything. So that's the only downside with this version. Bear in mind, there is another version of Boogiepop, which is Boogiepop and Another, which is adapted from the book. Since this is not really from the book, it's a sequel to the book, but it does its own thing. So I was like, whew, a lot of things to process.
What are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
To you. To you.
So, Boogiepop Phantom, is it worth your time? If you like a horror atmosphere or psychological, because it is psychological, then this would be for you. On the other hand, it may not click with everybody because it can be out there at points. While some certain things are cool about it, and while certain things get answered on certain occasions, it still leaves stuff that makes you question even more things. Why did this happen? Or where are these things actually coming from? They do hint to where they might be coming from, but why did this other thing appear? This other sort of phantom. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil too much. They might explain it in some details, but it won't click the first time. You might have to rewatch it another time just to understand what the heck's going on. And you might miss some things. That happens in a lot of these sort of psychological stories, which is fine. Like Silent Hill 2, I started to pick up on a lot of stuff that was hinting to things, which was really well crafted. This might be the same way, but when you want to watch it for the first time and instead of piecing together what the heck, it might throw you off guard. If you like these sort of things, then you might like it. Overall, I would say for my rating, while interesting, it's not going to be for everyone because of what I've just mentioned in this review. I do like its atmosphere. I do like the art design. It gives that gritty feel of noir / horror / psychological. But, you know, at the end of the day, you really have to pay attention. And like I said, they'll throw random stuff at points and throw you off guard even more. But either way, yeah, that's my rating for Boogiepop Phantom. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pop Culture Talk. I am curious to check out Boogiepop and others to see whether or not it does better than this version, or if it's worse than this version, or I might like this version more than the new one. I don't know. I'll have to see. But I hope you enjoyed. If you liked what you saw here, you could follow me, or if you do not like this review, leave a comment down below on why, or you could dislike it. It's either or. Anyways, peace everybody. I'm out.
Oh my gosh. I go into Japan in a non-specific area of a town, and there's creatures all over the place. I just came here to get a dog. So I looked up to figure out something to use against the monsters and this thing called Boogiepop that's after me. I used a specific joke that reflects energy against them so I can get a dog. It's a specific soap product and other products that go with it. It's from naturalmarketing.com. Know that if you go to this unspecified place in Japan, go to www.naturalmarketing.com so you can reflect energy against the monsters in this place. I just want a dog. Unfortunately, with this stuff, it will help protect me while I get a dog.